right? Southpaw Slick, live at work. And I wanted to continue off on the video from earlier when I was talking about the future of procreation, or the alternatives that might possibly be a thing in the future. Another thing I wanted to bring up is when I was talking about the interactivity between men and women. Do you think prostitution is going to be widely available because of that? My answer is yes. Since men prioritize sex and women prioritize financial gain, I can see it being more prevalent than ever. But this also brings the question, if prostitution becomes widely accepted, if prostitution becomes widely available, will the price of vagina actually go down? And my answer is yes. Anything that becomes ubiquitous automatically depreciates in value because it's easy to get. For example, I'll remember me, I'm a pot smoker, right? I'll remember at one point in time when you wanted to get some loud or some like exotic, like real exotic, it was like $20-$25 a gram, right? Now, that still is the case with certain strains, right? But like stuff that's easily accessible, let's say like Kush, for example, you can get a gram of Kush for $10 a pop. You can get an eighth for like 35, 40 bucks. Shit, even 30 bucks if you know who to go to. Why? Because that's all everybody has. I don't even remember the last time I've seen any of my plugs or anybody else's plug selling Reggie or Mid. You know what I mean? Like, that's like non-existent now. The reason the price went down is because everybody has nothing but loud. Now, some people might have better strains and can charge a little bit more, right? Like, let's say, for example, Girl Scout cookie. That's not something you run into often. You run into Dro often. You run into Gorilla Glue often. You run into Kush often. Those are strains you can get for $10 a pop. That would have been 25 plus years ago. Now, the same thing would apply if prostitution becomes widely available. If every woman is selling her body, she can't charge a premium unless she's offering something the rest of them are not. For example, if you have a woman that's advertising herself in person and or online, it'll be like basic full service, right? Let's say hypothetically speaking, the rate for that is what, like $100, right? QV, what they call it, or quick visit, you know, like 15-20 minutes, right? But you have somebody offering full service and then some. Let's say they're offering full service, beer bag included. They can charge double because they're offering something different. They're offering raw sex. Even though, you know what I mean, like you definitely gotta be wary about that. You know what I mean? You don't want to hop on board with everybody doing that. You know what I mean? But let's say she has the paperwork to show that she's clean before you guys do the deed, and you have paperwork as well. Or some of them, they won't even require it. If you have the money up front, they'll be good with that, right? If every woman started selling it, just regular service, it can go from $100 to literally $40. Even though some women are selling it for $40, from what I've heard. I know it's a meme, but that's actually a thing too. That might be the standard. That might be the going rate, because every other woman is selling that. Even more so if she's like average looking, right? Let's say it's a woman that's exceptionally attractive, like has that Instagram look, or she's 8, 9, 10. She can charge a little bit more because she looks better than the rest, or the majority. Let's say she looks good and does full service and then some, like some kind of fetish or like BDSM, feet play, whatever you guys are into. She can charge a little bit more for that. But I'm saying the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I see this being the main interaction between men and women. It's not going to be, you know, courting and dating and getting into a actual relationship. That might not be a thing anymore, right? But both men and women have physical needs that need to be met, that a toy, that porn can't do. That sense of touch is something you cannot replicate. That sense of touch is something you cannot replicate unless the humanoid robot comes into fruition, or there's some kind of augmented device that can be attached to the Oculus Rift or VR headset. Imagine being able to go into virtual reality and have like a virtual orgy, and you can feel every fucking thing with this device attached to your body. That would be crazy, right? That's the only thing. For example, you see women that complain about their significant other watching porn. No, they don't like it, but they're not threatened by it. Why? Because it lacks that sense of touch that they still have the monopoly on. Imagine if you have an alternative for that. Of course, a man can just go online, look at fucking Pornhub and get his rocks off, right? But imagine if you can actually feel what's going on screen. That would change the game like crazy. That would change the game crazy. See, I'm trying to look at things a little bit deeper. This is definitely something to take into consideration. You already see a lot of women bandwagon onto the OnlyFans wave, right? Now imagine if the OnlyFans wave evolves into prostitution, even though some of them are already doing it. You know, they'll say like, oh, I sell contents and do meetups. But some of them do content strictly. Imagine if that was the thing, that they did both or only sold their body in person. This is a future to, I want to say be excited about, but I also want to say something to worry about. Biblically speaking, I'm saying being a whoremonger is not seen in the best light, right? But it's also a great alternative for men to take, especially like men who are incels, or even the dudes that's not incels. You know what I mean? Like, that's good because, you know, I'm paying for it anyway, so might as well get it up front and get it over with, right? You want the money, I want the sex, everybody's happy, as long as it's between two consensual adults. The only way I'll have a problem with that is when children start getting involved. Then we have a serious fucking issue, because that's something I'm not co-signing. But I just figured this is like a part 2 to the video I did previously today. I figure I'll just chip in that before I have to go back to work. So, Southpaw Slick, I'm out.